She looked well, I tell Evie as she walks next to my wheelchair on the way back from seeing my mom. I'm sorry I left you waiting for so long. Evie giggles, a light airy sound. You didn't leave me waiting for anything. I have to be here for my shift and I don't have patience. I went back to the nurse's station and helped with some paperwork. Honestly, you saved me from a pile of charts and data entry. As the orderly stops in front of my room, I get up and thank him. I know what the doctor said, but do you think she's going to be all right? Evie grabs one of my hands with her good one. Yes, everything looks exactly as they expect after that kind of surgery. The doctors aren't in the business of sugar-coating things. If they think things might go wrong, they want to prepare you as soon as possible. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but I wouldn't worry. Recovery will be its own battle, but I think she'll be going home with you soon. She smiles and then does a small skip in place. That reminds me, since I had nothing to do but paperwork, I put all your discharge orders through. We're just waiting on the attending to clear you. I was even able to schedule a medical shuttle, since you're still covered under disability. I smile and grab Evie in a lopsided hug, careful to avoid her hurt side. Thank you, Evie. You've been wonderful, but I'll be so much less. I search for the right word, not wanting to reveal why I feel so anxious in the hospital and how Dr. Murphy had rattled me. I'll be more comfortable at home. Evie squeezes my shoulder. I'll stop by before you leave, and walks back towards the nurse's station. Inside the room, I pick up the backpack I left near the door before we left. I walk towards the chair, planning to pack everything a little neater, so I'll be ready as soon as I'm able to leave. But I stop short, because someone is already sitting in the chair. Good evening, Annabelle. I received your discharge paperwork. A familiar tall man with dark eyes and rumpled dark hair is sitting in the chair, leaning back with one leg crossed over the other. Hello, Dr. Murphy. I freeze momentarily, taken off balance by his unexpected appearance. I was told the attending would check me out. Dr. Murphy smiles, but it's thin and pursed. The attending contacted me as a courtesy and I wasn't far, so I came back in. Just to check me out for discharge? I involuntarily take a step back, but try to cover the nervous action by propping the backpack next to the small closet. Dr. Murphy gives a one-shoulder shrug. Again, I wasn't far. So you're sure you're ready to go home? I'm not sure if that's a good idea, given that you won't have any social support at home, no one to take care of you. I ruffle a bit at the familiar criticism. I took care of myself just fine before I got my sight. There is a bus schedule and I know my way around. If I get confused, I'll just close my eyes and do it like I have for 22 years. If it will make you feel better, I'll promise not to cook, although I've been doing that a while too. Okay, Dr. Murphy puts up his hands in a placating gesture, but that's not the only concern. You'll be alone. If there's a complication from the surgery, something that incapacitates you so you can't get to the phone, there will be no one there to help you. I can pick up Jenner. He'll stay with me. I have a medic alert and he's trained to use it. Dr. Murphy pulls a clipboard wedged between his leg and the arm of the chair. And Jenner is, he trails off, thumbing through several pages. My service dog. I won't go far and he's familiar with our apartment and neighborhood. I stand as straight as I can and tilt my chin up. Body language still feels a little new, but it's always how I've naturally stood when I've dug my heels in for a fight. I just hope the gesture is universal. Dr. Murphy sighs. I have no medical or procedural reason to hold you. But you will have to come back often for more testing. Your first appointment is tomorrow at noon, here at the hospital. Social work is also arranging an emergent care nurse to stop by your house and help you until then. She'll be there tomorrow at 8 a.m. Dr. Murphy holds out an appointment card and I take it. My phone number is on the back. Please call at any time if you need anything. Or if you encounter anything strange. He stands, grabbing the clipboard in one hand and half-heartedly smoothing out his pants with the other. I can probably help. One side of the card has tomorrow's date and 12 p.m. scrawled in messy handwriting. I flip the card over and find Dr. Murphy's name with 4 numbers printed neatly below it. Strange how? I ask. Dr. Murphy shrugs and walks to the door. Anything. You'll find a lot of things are going to be new for you here on out. Wait, I remember the nagging statement from Evie earlier. Why don't any of the nurses here know you? Shouldn't you have worked with other patients from this floor? Dr. Murphy doesn't turn around as he leaves. I only work with very specific cases. I sit in the chair, trying to give the small shake in my hand time to subside. I don't know why Dr. Murphy rattles me so badly. But I've spent my life having to understand my surroundings, understand other people, only by listening. Something about Dr. Murphy leaves me unsettled. Rides here. Evie bounds into the room, yet another wheelchair behind her. The van is waiting downstairs. Just let them know the address when you get in. She takes my backpack from the floor and slings it over her good shoulder. I try to reach for it back. Oh, you don't have to do that. I'm sure we'll find our way to the front doors. I nod at the orderly, the same one who took me to see my mother earlier. I'm on my way out, anyway. Some of the imaging came back from my arm and it's going to take a little longer to heal than they thought. Her voice drops slightly, but she quickly recovers. The powers that be are putting me on a new temporary duty starting tomorrow. She looks down at me meaningfully and smiles as I lower into the wheelchair. Day shift. Congratulations, I say, laughing for the first time since I first got my bandages taken off. A quick elevator ride and we're at the lobby entrance. Although the area isn't incredibly busy, there are still quite a few people, and it takes my mind a few moments to merge the sounds and the sight of the people into a coherent image I can process. We stop at a desk while my attendant talks quietly, and Evie gives me a quick hug. Good luck! Hopefully, I'll run into you during one of your appointments. Thanks, I smile. I'll be sure to look for you. I watch as she skips to the door, waving to a few people as she leaves. There are a few chairs next to the doors, comfortable soft ones probably meant as a more relaxing place to wait instead of one of the official waiting rooms. There are a few people interspaced between the chairs, most looking at their phone or reading something in their hands. As Evie disappears outside the building, one person sitting there catches my attention. I can't tell his age, only that he's not young or not old. He has dark hair combed neatly, with a severe part and dark stubble covering his face. He bites into an apple and as he does, his eyes are locked on me. I try to study him without being obvious, not really sure how long I could stare at someone before it becomes awkward. Our eyes only meet for a second before he looks back down at his apple. But as he does, the color drains from his face, then radiates out from his entire body, spreading like dark liquid seeping through his skin and clothes. When he is completely gray against the backdrop of the rest of the hospital, I have to look away to keep from screaming. I lower my head and see the color drain from my body in the same pattern. Gray overtakes my torso, creeping out to my arms and legs. By the time the attendant grabs the now gray wheelchair and starts moving towards the door, color has leached out of every part of me that I can see. As we go out the doors, I look up in a blind panic and see the other man without color. The apple is sitting in his lap forgotten and he is openly gaping at me.